Good day. It's a plane in the background, but we've also got these thunderclouds coming toward us. There's been rumblings of thunder, but it seems to be breaking up a bit now. But it is still quite dark. I'm not sure if you could hear that, but that was from over there. Anyway, just gonna get on and do a few things. As you know, I string our tomatoes up and twine them around as they grow. But what does happen occasionally is the weight will get so heavy that the string holding the tomato up snaps and the whole plant comes down. I think it's happened, it's happened earlier this year, I think because of the weight. Sorry, not the weight, because of the heat. Because this twine, because it's natural, it does actually deteriorate over time. It's starting to rain, but the first thing I'm going to do is string this plant back up. That is now strung back up. I'm just going to have a look at all the rest. None others have broken, but this year my tomato frames have really been quite ramshackle. They're normally sturdier than this. The reason again being is the ground under here was so hard I couldn't get some of the bamboos in that deep. In fact, I was using a rebar and a hammer to make a hole to then put the bamboo in, because when I did put this frame in, the ground was so hard because it was so dry. This is our rainbow chard bed, which is beginning to produce nicely. Quite a nice pink stem on this one. We did have a lovely red stem one there, but it went to seed, so that has come out. And what I have done is in these gaps, I have sown further rainbow chard seed, which will obviously come later, but hopefully it will grow, particularly as all of this compost that's in here from Ealing Riding Stables has settled. So when I've sowed the seeds, I've made sure it's sowed in the ground rather than in the top inch, because when the seedlings come through, they'll quite happily burst through that. So that's another job I've done today. My final job for the moment is going to be tidying these strawberries up. With a pair of scissors, I'm going to be taking all the dead growth out and then giving it a really good feed. I'm still not seeing any runners coming, so maybe it's not going to be producing runners this year. If it doesn't, it doesn't, but fingers crossed. These have now had a really good tidy. I have taken out any dead leaves and also taken out any dying leaves, and I'm going to give them a really good feed with just a general seaweed fertilizer now. These will die back and will need some further care in the autumn, but we'll come on to that then. Okay, see you for today. Bye. Good day. I am on one of the bits of our allotment site that you don't normally see. I think on our allotment tours I've only shown this area once or twice, but it really is a sort of behind the scenes bit that you don't normally see. It's actually behind our polytunnel, and I talk about it every now and again, but you haven't seen it, so I thought I would show it to you in its full glory. It's not really glorious. It's one of those areas that's intended to be slightly rough and ready. Here we are at the corner of the poly. We've got a comfrey down here which has been harvested, and comfrey tea is over there. There's a hollyhock which grows each year. But yeah, this is an area you don't normally see. This is a huge water tank which we don't actually use but contains a lot of water. Therefore, we've got the top really well covered so that nothing can fall into it. But it's not solidly covered. It's all grating and wood so that the air can get in and get out. Our shed, this is pretty dilapidated. I would love to remove this year, but I'm not sure whether it will happen. It may be better to just get some tarpaulin and put tarpaulin onto the top of it for another year. Right, coming around this area, you've seen this before. This is our pallet compost bin here. Buckets of spent compost, mainly from potatoes. In this bin is our chicken manure pellets, which I'm hoping to get another container for because it's quite a deep bin and the chicken manure pellets are only up to about there. Right, in there is our comfrey tea. Comfrey and nettle tea, that is. We'll have a look at that another day because I'm not into ponging quite so much today. This is just bits of cardboard and paper on top of our pallet compost bin, which I then layer before I put more stuff onto. But at the moment, most of the detritus we have is going into the hot bin composter, which is this one, or going into our big green bin, which is the perennials, where they just rot down. Perennial weeds just rot down in that one. Or into our Dalek or the hexagonal bin. So this one is sort of just doing its thing at the moment, this pallet bin. In here, all our bits of cardboard already torn up. That goes into the compost bins to ensure we have enough browns and also dryness. And that's a tight fitting lid on there, and it is sloping down this way so that any water slopes off. Right, our hot bin composter at the moment, what's that? At the moment it's at 34 degrees. It was showing 58 degrees outside and 84 degrees inside the other day. Right, this collection of dead stuff is our dead hedge. And the reason I wanted to do this today was because yesterday at the bottom down here, I saw a stag beetle. Of course, by the time I got the camera, the stag beetle had gone. But this is a dead hedge. Right at the back here, you can see our fellow plot holder's shed. Right at the back along here is an area that we effectively keep for wildlife. And this dead hedge is doing exactly that. We've seen hedgehogs in here, 2 hedgehogs in here. And effectively all this is branches and brambles and dry detritus that we pile on top, and it rots down over the years and creates fantastic natural habitat under there. Right. So there we are. Oh, there's Mr. Robin. I'm not sure if you saw him. He's behind that yellow trug. That yellow trug is actually a broken yellow trug, which needs to go to the dump at some point. I'm not sure if you can see the hole down there. That's one of Fenella's dens. She has a den underneath the second shed, which is this one. And then coming round, just sort of bits and pieces. These are crates I picked up at the road that are great to transport plants in. Spare hoses. There's some netting that got all tangled up that I need to sort out. And this bamboo here. What I do need to do at some point is get all of this plastic off. This isn't sun resistant plastic, so I need to get all of that plastic off and bin it. Yeah, and there's just other sort of bits and pieces down there. It's all a bit rough and ready round the back. One winter job, I seem to be talking about winter jobs all the time, is these. I'm not sure if you can see, but the slabs are moving forward, and I really need to put some bricks in the winter underneath here to support these slabs, because at the moment they're moving forward. But that is a winter job. We've got the bricks, we just need to have the time to do it, and winter's the perfect time. Oh, and then this is the back of the poly. As you can see, we have a few containers for comfrey tea and other fertilizers that we make. So yeah, oh, and then an incinerator at the back, which we haven't used at all this year. I think we've had it for about 3 years. We've used it twice. When you've got a dead hedge and when you have a bonfire party every year, you don't really need to burn that much. So yeah, there we are. That bamboo is going to go to the front of the plot. Sorry, it's a bit breezy at the moment. I hope you can hear me. But that is the area at the back of the polytunnel. An area, as I say, you don't see that much. An area that's unkempt, but it's unkempt for wildlife reasons mainly. I mean, it's not too unkempt because these are all stacked up and the hose is in there and that needs to be sorted. So, and all of these are stacked sort of neatly and tidily. So yeah, it's not too bad. Okay, I will see you tomorrow for a week at the plot. Bye. Good day. It's raining. It's been consistent rain for about 4 hours so far. It's forecast for about 9 hours today, and then it dries up for the next few days, which is good. But this sort of consistent rain will be doing the ground a lot of good, really sort of penetrating the top layer of soil and mulch and getting down into the roots, which is great. So yeah, there we are. It's wet, but it's still a good day. We need this rain, so that's great. I've come down to do a few things. There's not a lot that I can do today because I will get wet. Not that that's a big issue. The polytunnel needs watering. I put those beans in a few days ago, as you know, and we transplanted those lettuce, and the cucumbers still need water. So I needed to come down today and water those, which I have done. I've also gone round to our cuttings that we've taken, which are all in trays without holes in the bottom. And I've emptied those out because what we don't want is those cuttings and the pots and the compost sitting in stagnant water. So I've emptied those out. And I have also fed the brassicas again. This weather is perfect weather if you're going to be putting a liquid feed or even chicken manure pellets onto any beds, because obviously the moisture will mean that the fertilizers can run into the soil and get to those roots much quicker than if it was dry. So even though it looked a bit stupid, I'm sure, in fact somebody did give me an odd look, I have been watering my brassica beds. I haven't done anything else because, as you know, I fed all the other beds, and everything that needed feeding I fed on Sunday. But brassicas are so hungry that I decided to give them a good feed today as well. And in fact, what I will do after this video is I'm going to give the squash a bit more of a feed, particularly those that are in the bed at the front of our plots, because they have started, or some of them have started, to get away. So we've got tendrils going out and leaders going out on 3 or 4 of those now. I'm not sure whether they will come to anything because it's quite late in the season. It's, you know, we're past mid-August. But who knows? If we have an Indian summer, then maybe they will sort themselves out and produce some fruit. Who knows? So yeah, that's been about it really. I'm just going to sit in the shed now with my notebook and make a few notes of things that I want to do and a few videos that I think it would be quite good to make over the coming weeks, and enjoy the pitter-patter of the rain on our roof. As you know, I mean, I look quite white, I think, here. Our roof is that clear plastic, clear corrugated plastic. So it lets quite a lot of light in, which of course is great. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sit here, make a few notes, listen to the rain. I might put the radio on, listen to a bit of Radio 4 or Radio 4 Extra. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I do have some work I need to do at home, so I'm going to be here for about an hour because I need to get a couple of emails off to clients this afternoon. So I'll do that a bit later. Okay, see you again tomorrow. Bye. Good day. Well, it's certainly a different day today. Gorgeous blue skies, lovely fluffy clouds. Very breezy though. But no rain. No rain. Though I'm going to have to check trays again. Gosh, look, this tray was emptied yesterday. And it's already got an inch of water in it. That's how much it's rained. Anyway, what I'm doing today is just doing a little bit of harvesting of these lettuce for lunch. Let me get on and do that. These lettuce are the ones I got from Delfland Nurseries because our other lettuce were going really slowly. This one here is just a little gem, which seems to be being quite liked by slugs or snails. Then the next is a lioba, which is a red. Not much red in there. There's a little bit in there. Not sure if you can see. But that one's doing really nicely. Nice big leaves, which will be fabulous in a wrap. Then a romaine type, which is one that we do like. And then over there, a green version of this one. But obviously very, very different. That one over there is much more curly. Much more curly. Anyway, what I'm going to do now, I've got my thing there, is just make sure I've got down the spine, break off, get right down to the spine and take it at the bottom, at the back. So I'm going to do some here. I'm going to take 3 leaves, well, maybe 4 leaves from this one. Oh, sorry, I didn't have you in shot. And then later on, what I will do after lunch is I'll just tidy up and take these leaves which are blown onto here, and also the dead leaves from here away, because we don't want to encourage slugs or snails. But what I'm going to do now is put their name tags back, if I can. Usual thing, you take it out and can't put it back in. There, put that one back in. Let's put that one back in. Yeah. There are a few rockets coming up, and I'm going to be transplanting these into the polytunnel. But yeah, quick one today, just a little harvesting of some of our lettuce. Bye. Good day again. What a difference a day makes. I seem to be saying that all the time at the moment. The wind is really strong today. Though there are now, I look over there, there's some blue sky creeping through. But what I have been doing is just checking on all of these tomatoes. A few have come down, and I've decided to take the fruits. If I just come over here, take the fruits, and we're going to make a green tomato curry with those, which will be lovely. And I've just put some wood, which you can't see, on top of the shed just here because it's so windy. The roof in there is sort of bouncing a little bit. Fingers crossed. But I am a lucky guy. I've got a client. Let's walk and talk. I've got a client who gives me a bottle of whiskey every birthday for nigh on 20 years. Oh, there's our neighbours. Some of their netting has flown across the path. We'll just avoid that. Yes, this client gives me some whiskey, a bottle of whiskey, and every year, and she forgot this year. Oh, there's a bit of plastic down there I'm going to need to pick up. And she called me the other day and said, oh, I've forgotten your birthday. A bottle of whiskey's on the way, but I put some money into your account because you were talking about a pond. And look. A pond. Pond liner, another pond liner. So this static or preformed pond liner is going to go under the ceanothus, and the fabric pond liner that we got is going to go into the wooden barrel pond that we're going to make. So I was really chuffed when she said, I've put some money into your account and I want you to get something for the allotment. I thought this was the perfect thing. So that, let's go on little travels, is going to go in here. So yeah, really pleased with that. That's great. And I've measured it. I mean, I bought it. She gave me the money and I bought it. And it's a good size to just fit here and leave another bit, a good area for the pallets and other bits to go overgrown. But this ceanothus will need some cutting back. I think this is the most it's grown this year. but it's gorgeous. I mean, it's that blue flower that we see. What's it? California lilac, they call it as well. Anyway, that's it for today. Some of our sunflowers, they're still coming out. Look at this one. Look at that colour. Okay, see you tomorrow. Bye. Good day. Or rather, not quite such a good day. We've still got the wind, which you'll be able to hear on here. But the wind has really done these canes in. Look at the angles that they're at. And some fruit have fallen off as well. There's more off there. Oh, look at this one. So the angle that one is supposed to be at is sort of straight across there. But hey ho. When I came yesterday, I thought there may be wind damage today, and certainly there is. The fruits that have fallen off, I'll take home. I'll do a picking. Oh, look, I mean, it's such a ramshackle. Oh dear. I think I've got some rebars, so I'll need to find a hammer to bang those in because I've only got a mallet. Hey ho. The wind was so strong yesterday. I mean, ridiculously strong for August. And what the other tomatoes which are up here are fine. This has come down as well, which is a shame. I've completely forgotten what that's called now. Oh, it's the thing, callaloo. It's callaloo. You can eat the seeds and you can eat the leaves of spinach, but I was just growing it for the birds, so I'll prop that up. I'll most probably tie it just to these canes. I suppose not too much damage, apart from the tomatoes. The beans are all still fine. We'll do another video on those maybe tomorrow. Yeah. Oh, one thing that I did do yesterday, because it was so breezy, these broad beans, which you can see are sort of well in flower now, I decided to tie them up. That one needs tying up a bit tighter because it's flopped over. But they were basically almost on the ground with the wind yesterday, so I decided to tie them up. Hey ho, that's life. Yeah, and that tomato frame over there is absolutely fine. It's holding up well. It doesn't have quite the weight, but also the bamboos are much further in the ground. As I say, never mind. I'll go and sort those out now, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye. Good day. I said we'd have a look at the beans. And if I come back a bit, you can see these are losing their colour. Those over there are going yellow. Gosh. And it's, what's it, the 23rd of August, something like that. I mean, the runner beans are still producing as long as they get pollinated. And most of them we're leaving because we want the bean inside to use for chilies in the over the winter, so we leave them dry like that. That one will be coming off soon. But these are our Madeira Maroon, which in previous years, when they haven't had mosaic virus, not that these have got mosaic virus, these don't, they're just dying back. These have usually produced till the end of September. Still producing, though you can see, hopefully, if I move that leaf out of the way, again, we're seed saving with these. We're letting those dry off. The difference between this runner bean is that when it's dries, it's a bit rough, where these, there's one that's quite dry. These are actually quite smooth, the skin, so I can tell the difference. Then we have, which are these? Blue Lake, which when they're small are great. When they're larger, we're just letting them go to seed so that we can save the seed and eat that again over winter. Now, these here are our Cocoa Sophie, which really didn't get going this year at all. You can see the black fly early on in the year really did for them. And they're dying back, as are the Blue Lake, particularly. Look. Our Cocoa, not Cocoa de Pampol, our Beurre de Rocancourt, which are these bush beans, are dying back. Our Gigantes are still producing, though nothing like we've had in previous years. I'm making some quite big decisions next year on what beans I'm going to grow and what we're not going to grow. These are more Sophie, this side. Then we come on to these, which are Canadian White, which actually are quite a small pod, though really quite nice. We're going to be having them that size this evening, steamed. I'm thinking about doing this one again. Cocoa de Pampol at the front, way behind Vivi's, but they were sown later. And then these are our asparagus bean, which have done nothing, and our borlotti, which we put in as a second planting, are beginning to produce. I think they're bush borlotti. I'm not sure they're climbing. I'm not sure. And then back to runner beans, Shaz's runner beans. Actually, the runner beans of everything are the most healthy. Let's go and have a look at our lazy housewife. Here we are at the lazy housewife. I think it's called a lazy housewife bean because it's extremely vigorous, very prolific. You can eat the pods, or if you miss the pods, you can let them dry and eat them as a dry bean. But just hasn't got away. It's trying to now. Look, there's one should be climbing up there. There's one there which is trying to climb a bit. There's one up here. But really, I think it's too late in the season for this to do anything, which is a shame. Oh, little ladybird in there. Oh, multi-headed. Oh, pretty. Right, our borlotti. We normally get really good harvests from borlotti. This year, maybe enough for 4 meals. So some you can see are drying in the pod. I mean, that's what we want them all to do, really. They start off, we find it, oh, there we are, can we see in there? They start off as this green pod, and then they change to like this, green, predominantly green with red speckles. Then it changes to more red, less green. Again, this one's a bit later, even more red. And then it dries to that colour. So actually this is the next stage where they start drying off, and then they dry to that. So yeah, we've got some decent size beans in those pods, but nowhere near as prolific as previous years. And everything is dying back so much quicker this year. I mean, unbelievably. We would normally be harvesting these around mid-September, the end of September. Anyway, let's have a look at the bush beans that I sowed in the polytunnel about 8 days ago, because I saw they were breaking the ground yesterday. Oh yes. Oh, can you see those? None have germinated around here. One there, 3 there. I planted 3 seeds together to hold them up. Oh yeah, there's more there. There's 3 at the back. More here. Oh, then it thins out. There's 1 there. That looks... Oh yeah, look. Lying on the ground, eaten by slugs or snails. Hey ho, I can plant some more. Yeah, so we've got some beans coming, late dwarf beans coming. Great. Oh, I'm falling over, getting up and falling over. I'll soon be harvesting the seed from these. They've gone very fluffy now. I'll be doing that maybe tomorrow. But you've seen a lettuce seed saving video before. Oh, as we talk about beans, finally, let's just have a look at these Luster Ottono broad beans, which are all flowering really well. I hope you can see. They're quite short. They've really been bashed about in this wind. I did notice yesterday a few pods forming now from the pollinated flowers. In fact, let me go over there. What can we get in? Can you see these pods here? Just forming. So that's great. There's a few over there as well. I just hope that we get a harvest from these this year. Last year they suffered from a lot of black spot because there was so much rain. Hey ho, fingers crossed. So that's all of our beans. But look, when you look across there, the raspberries are all sort of losing their colour. So much is losing its colour early this year. It really is. It's bizarre to think it's just 3/4 of the way through August. It feels as though it's like mid-September, end of September. Oh, one other bean. Oh, one other bean. The sword bean, which got chomped. But look, it is growing. I need to tie that up, and fingers crossed. But I don't think it will be a massive sword bean when we get it, if we get any. Right, that's it for today. Back to our beans, which are dying back. And I'll see you again soon. Well, I'll see you tomorrow if you're on Planet Vegetaria, or next week if you're watching this on YouTube. Bye.